Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Ear Burners podcast. Welcome back. Welcome back. As some of you might notice, we have a bit of a different setup here. Trying something new. But yeah, here I'm joined with my best pal, Brock.
Hey.
We've been hanging out here, just trying to get everything going, get everything set up, trying to make things a little bit more streamlined. And I think we're getting it. But yeah.
Yeah, you sound sexier too.
Do I sound sexier?
Yeah.
It's probably just because I have all the everything on. Yeah.
Yeah.
The sex
on.
is on. You're on.
Yeah.
I'm on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have all the effects on and all that too. So that's probably why one reason I sound
We're gonna add a little kosher salt.
Add a little kosher salt to the
it's a nice I don't know food.
I need to add like sexy music maybe to the soundboard. Yeah.
I was doing Babish.
Doing Babish. Oh, that'd be awesome.
A little kosher salt.
Yeah. No,
his voice is like, it does not sound like that.
Next, we just need a little bit of kosher salt.
Yeah.
And a touch of nutmeg. Me and Jordan actually love watching Binging with Babish.
Yeah, I watched a few.
Oh yeah, we're big fans. Anymore, it seems like I think it's a lot of his other channel guy who makes like the anime themed dishes. I think he's writing a book or something. Andrew is his name. I think he's been busy, but we were just talking about how I think you could rock a bald beard situation, and he's somebody who can.
You have to know
the shape of your skull.
Yeah, and there's only one way to find out, and that's to shave.
Yeah,
and then you're fucked if I got like. I feel like I've hit my head too many times on trash cans. So I feel like there's probably some dents or something.
Playing WWE with your siblings growing up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I
used to try to recreate Jackass movies and on YouTube, and I was not that Babish does this, but I was thinking of this the other day. You know, like the Nerd Writer videos,
Nerd Writer,
or like Nerdstalgic, like the video essay, like. People that analyze movies and stuff. I watch a lot of those.
Yeah.
What do you call like that voice they do, or that cadence where they like?
Oh, you mean like when they explain things? It's kind of like
they like do this same rhythm, all of them, and I feel like the Nerd Writer started it, but I don't know if he did or not. But I feel like everyone copies like.
You talking about like how Babish does his too? Even
I don't know if Babish does it, but
it's like a tutorial voice. I think it's a voice that's very much like. And next we're gonna do this. Next we're gonna do that.
Yeah, but Babish is different. They like almost end things with a question mark.
Can you give an example?
Fuck. Now
putting you on the spot.
Now without pulling up a video.
Okay. I mean, I could pull up a video.
Yeah,
I can do that.
Pull up you'll know what I'm talking about when we hear it.
You'll know what I'm talking about.
Nerd Writer 1. He's the first one. I feel like it started with him because he's the first one I watched who did talk like that, and then I saw other like a different channel called Nerdstalgic where he also spoke like that. And I don't think I hate it. I just noticed that it's the same.
Okay.
Like any of these, like like click that one. I don't know. I've not even seen this one.
I got Billie Eilish promoting Adobe.
Nice.
And then...
all right. Look at that.
Okay, so here's a story about celebrity. It starts in Italy in the years before World War II, when the country was controlled by Benito Mussolini.
Yeah, it's just a very nice narrating voice. Yeah.
Yeah, and like as he goes on, like he'll do it like when he does longer sentences.
Yeah.
You know, in that period before.
Aside from being a murderous fascist and dictator, Mussolini was an avid movie fan and
and then there's this other channel and then another one, and they all like have that
cadence,
like flow. Yeah, cadence.
They're just really good at it too. Yeah, and
yeah. I don't know. I want to name it.
I mean, you know, like there's like the podcaster voice where it's like, you know, kind of like
thought for your thought.
Yeah, what's your thought on that?
Yeah,
and then there's like radio broadcaster.
It's like the new radio.
Yeah,
and the new news, and then there's like that. But then you have those people like Tom Brokaw who are like, "What the fuck? How did he get in?"
Yeah,
with that voice, we love it now, but like, it sounded a little jarring compared to the transatlantic.
I love sometimes listening to that transatlantic accent where it's like It's just so spot on. Like,
Yeah.
For those who don't know, let me see if I can find like a nice like trans.
Every movie up until like 1970 probably did it. And then Marlon Brando came out. Yeah, he was around before then, actually.
This guy looks like he's going to do...
Has anybody ever noticed that in motion pictures from the 40s, 50s, and 60s, actors and actresses sounded very different to how they sound today?
Yeah. Very weird.
You haven't watched the Clone Wars, but they all start off with like this like almost comic book like voice by Tom Kane. He's like, "War rages on in the Republic." I love that shit.
Yeah.
It's just kind of similar.
It plays on the
young Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember growing up being so confused. Why is this like? Was it the technology of the day that made them sound so different? Was it the actual way that they talked that made them sound like that?
It's made up.
Yeah,
it's not even a regional.
Nobody talks.
dialect.
Nobody actually just talks like that.
It's insane, man.
Yeah, I've never heard somebody just talk like that. That's just how they talked on broadcasting, and like it's just so strange. But it's the same thing. It's just like like growing up to the radio stations we grew up to. It's just like you're listening to 101.5.
The Jizz.
The Jizz.
We're gonna bring you high octane rock.
If I had like fart sound effects, I'd be like doing that, or explosions and shit like that. But
so are we gonna go see Skillet in 3 days grace?
Nah, I don't think so, buddy.
Man, when we went to that one festival with Chevelle,
it was just like a hard rock festival. Yeah, alternative.
This was the one time where I wish headliners went first.
Yeah.
Well, can you put Saliva last so like I can leave?
Just listen to Chevelle and go.
Yeah.
Chevelle was good. Everything
Chevelle
else
was
sucked.
good. Yeah.
I remember a fight broke out when Saliva was playing, and they had to stop. You remember that? And there was like, remember there's a few times that cops like cut through the crowd and pulled people out.
That's so fucking stupid.
It was bad. It was
over
really
Saliva.
Bad. Yeah, it was. Hey
man, you took my wraparound sunglasses, you piece of shit. That was mean.
I mean, you're not wrong. Where's the lie?
There's only wraparounds allowed in there.
Where's the lie, though?
If you have a strap connecting the back, you get VIP.
Yeah.
That's mean. That's so stereotypical of me. I'm sorry.
Stereotypical of you for what?
To just lump Saliva fans in with wraparound sunglasses.
I mean, where is the lie? Like, there's nobody's wallets at this concert are getting stolen because they're all like those chain wallets that you see all the time. And
remember when I crowd surfed?
I just remember it smelled like bad weed and BO and Bud Light,
Keystone.
Yeah.
No, we can't. We don't do Bud Light. It's too expensive. No, I remember I handed you all the shit in my pocket so I could crowd surf.
Yeah, I remember that. Did you actually crowd surf though?
Yeah, I think you lifted me up, didn't you?
I think you asked me to. You asked me to go with you, and I was like, fuck that, no.
I don't know why.
I value my life.
It's hard
I don't
to
feel
go
like dying
with
today.
It's kind of hard to go with you.
Why? Because I ruined the fun?
No, like to crowd surf. Like,
yeah,
how are we gonna do it together?
Right.
You know, we're at the mercy of the waves.
Yeah, we're at the mercy of the fucking people at this show, dude. And I sound judgmental talking about the crowd because it's a specific like type, but it was, I don't know. It just was bad. It was just bad. I sound.
It was
mean.
A good place to crowd surf because like the music's not hard enough where you'd fall in a mosh pit.
Right.
Yeah. It was a good setting.
Yeah.
I'll never go again.
No. It was a one-time thing. And it just
it's at the baseball field though this year.
It's at Four Winds?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's like
nice. Good.
That's a little too good of a venue for what is coming.
Yeah. So me and Brock were talking a little bit about before the show started, we were talking about I think you should leave skits.
Oh yeah. Are you pulling up this one's so underrated.
Is this recorded off a TV? Okay, I'm not playing this one.
Is that just the Bozo? There's ads on it. It's just Bozo dubbed over.
Is this it?
Yeah. It's just yeah, out of context, this is
Yeah.
I love the end, right? Like the last like it's like Spike's a fucking piece of shit.
Let me see. Yeah, we might have to watch.
It's hilarious.
No, let's watch it.
Type in Bozo dubbed over in their space.
So anybody who hasn't seen, I think you should definitely watch it. It's a fucking hilarious show.
Yes.
It is one view, and it says it was uploaded at 6 a.m. this morning.
Have you seen it?
Someone just recorded their TV.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
We're gonna get flagged for recording the recording.
Recording the recording of the TV.
I think this is like season 1. I think.
Was it?
I think so. It's the one with the Chunky.
Yeah.
The game show where he's like, it's a Chunky, and then it's like Andy Samberg in it, and then Chunky comes out and just like hits him.
Yeah.
And he like takes his backpack.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to figure out what Chunky does. What's his deal?
I like the oh shit. I love the memes coming from well, of course, the Will Smith thing. There was quite a few of them from the second season of he can hit. No, he can hit. Did you see the second season?
Which one?
The one where they invite the president and the impersonators, and a few of them are like hitting some of the party goers.
Oh yeah. Yeah, oh, he can hit. Oh yeah, that's a clever one.
Yeah. But anyways, I just wanted to talk a bit about that. But anyways, but yeah, no. How was your week been? Pretty good.
Yeah, it's been a good week.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
nothing too crazy. Watch some movies.
Good. Yeah, we watched The Batman this week actually.
I heard.
It's on HBO. Yeah. So I was watching it, and it's not to spoil it for anybody, but Brock had Snapchatted me that Batman dies at the end, and I've heard this from multiple sources. So just people fucking with people. So I'm watching this movie like shit. He just spoiled it for me. Okay, I'll still watch it. And
I wouldn't spoil a movie for you with the real spoiler.
I that was the thing. It's just like, why would Brock actually do that to me? And I was just like, okay, maybe he's just like in rare form today and just trying to really be a dick. But he didn't die. No, and they're actually gearing up for a sequel. We finished watching it. It was a long movie. I think they could have trimmed out a lot of fat.
They did though, like that whole Joker scene. Have you seen the deleted scene?
Yeah, but like, yeah, I did. But there's just so much, like even the end sequence is like so many scenes in there that could have been cut shorter. But
man, I love that car chase.
The car chase was awesome. Yeah. It was a good movie.
Some people didn't like it because they're like, that's not what like Batman. Like he didn't look like Batman, or like that's not what Batman should be. Like he was clumsy, and I think that was the point. Was it's a young Batman, and he's like supposed to kind of be like shitty. Like his car looks like shit. He fights like shit. He can't fly the fucking thing.
Yeah,
like he's like kind of figuring out who he is, and I think that's like that origin.
Yeah, I like this that he's like he has his flaws, and he's he's
like no one can say as a movie it doesn't function. Like that's when I think of a bad movie, it's because like as a like the plot, like it's missing something, or it's like something just doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And it's fine. Like the criticism's like, well, as it stands next to comics or other movies, like it I don't like it or what. But I'm like, it's a solid movie. Like like from the all the kind of the twist. Like I didn't really see like the whole master plan come together, and that's I love a psychopathic Paul Dano.
Yeah,
he's pretty good at that.
Yeah, he was good. He was good at it. A lot of people
don't spoil anything.
Yeah, a lot of people were saying, well, the riddles are too easy, or he got it too quickly. But
that was the point.
The thing about this Batman is that this is Detective Batman. Yeah. This is the best detective in the world version of Batman. This isn't like Ben Affleck's, I'm going to beat the shit out of you, Batman. This is...
Oh, have you seen that one?
Yeah, I saw the Justice League stuff and Batman versus Superman just because I was bored, and it was okay. But this is like, yeah, I'm still going to beat the shit out of you. And honestly, they made his punches look fucking ferocious in
Yeah.
the movie too. I looked over at Jordan like I would not want to be on the receiving end of any of those punches because they looked real and they looked painful.
Yeah.
They did a good job with the choreography and the cinematography. Like honestly, it was great. And this Batman, it's one that is that master detective, the way like he was able to solve all the riddles, the clues, and like it all, like that was actually something I was really excited about. It's like Sherlock Batman.
Yeah.
Right. I loved his cowl too. Like people are saying he didn't look like Batman. The cowl was fucking awesome.
See, like those fucking comments are just so stupid. Like judge the movie for like what it is. Like I think it did a good job, especially because it like stands on its own separately without being too close to any of the others while still being gritty. Like it wasn't trying to be Nolan or apparently Ben Affleck. I guess that one exists. But you know me, like you normally like am critical of superhero movies.
Yeah.
But and I mean this is a totally different beast than like a Marvel movie. Like I think what loses me is when it's so like CGI heavy and you're just like I just kind of fall out of the immersion of it. Not so much in like when it's like a fantasy land, like Black Panther. I didn't really lose like I didn't lose like the immersion. Yeah. But like Spider-Man No Way Home, like they're in a city, but like some crazy shit's happening that I'm like, that
kind of pulls you away from it.
I felt a little pulled away, but I mean, this Batman, like that fucking car chase looked so real.
Yeah. They've been saying, and I agree, I heard some people say that this is the best version of Gotham yet in a movie.
Yeah.
I loved it. I guess Jordan was telling me it was pieces of London mixed with Chicago, mixed with some other stuff.
Right.
It was really awesome.
The Dark Knight was like all Chicago.
And I think in Rises, it was parts of Pittsburgh. I think.
I remember I was in Chicago when they were shooting some scenes like that. They had some streets blocked off.
Yeah, they were in the what is that?
Lower
Wacker Drive. Yeah, Lower Wacker.
Yeah, but no, I love, and I think like a lot of movies can just benefit from a little darker lighting too, and kind of cover up a little bit of the the fakeness of it.
Yeah,
it's like there was barely any light in that movie at all.
Yeah, I'm a nerd really for any comic movies. The Marvel movies just became so over done for me. I think that I kind of lost. I love Spider-Man.
There's just so many too. Like they're just fucking churning them out.
And the thing is just like whatever's going on with this, like where DC is kind of confusing me is like they're making these awesome standalone movies like The Joker with Joaquin Phoenix. Great movie, loved it. And then they have the Batman that's coming out.
They need to stick to that.
They need to stick to that route and stay away from this stupid fucking Justice League thing that they're doing because it's not working.
And yeah, I can't say Marvel's not effective at it like they are, and like the universe building and all that. DC shouldn't do that. Like everyone, like
Marvel's doing it with the Avengers. We should make the Justice League, but they're not doing a good job with it.
It worked for Nolan because he like had an ending in mind. Where I don't know if
that's fine.
There's a lot of that going on or a lot of planning. It's kind of like they done the Star Wars thing where they just said, "Hey, we'll have 3 different people like try to do this and."
Yeah.
Hopefully they connect.
Yeah.
Whoopsies.
And then Jordan's excited because she loves the Thor movies. So they're coming out with.
Those ones are good. I'll give them that.
Love and Thunder is going to be coming out at some point. And that looks fun. That's the thing about Thor movies. Is that some of them
Ragnarok was so good, man.
Some of them are comedies. And I think the guy from his name he's a director. I think he's the guy from Flight of the Conchords. He also, I think it's the same guy from there's a new show we were watching.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah. Waititi. Yeah. Is that who I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
I think he's also got a new show.
IG-11 and Mandalorian.
He's got a funny show.
Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah. This flag means death. Have you heard of this show?
No.
It's
Our flag means death.
It's hilarious. It's a show about a pirate who is a gentleman pirate. And for those, I'll just share the screen. So he's going to be the one that's going to be directing it. And he's directed one of the Thors already, I believe.
Yeah. And he did the Mandalorian episode, a few of them. IG-11 and
he's hilarious. He
was in that Free Guy movie of Ryan Reynolds.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny in that.
But he is this flag means death. It's who he plays Blackbeard. which is it's a really funny role for him in it. But it's a show about a guy who leaves his family and leaves his family and wants to be a pirate, and he only knows the way of being a gentleman and like high society, so he calls himself the gentleman pirate, and no other pirate takes him seriously. And then he runs into a higher up pirate, and they kind of have this trade of just like, I'll show you how to be a bloodthirsty killer, you show me how to be a gentleman. And it's a really fun show. It's really funny.
That sounds good. What's it going to be on?
I think it's on. Where did we watch it? Is it Peacock or is it HBO?
Hopefully not Netflix.
I don't think it's Netflix. Yeah, I guess
I'm on a I hate Netflix train lately.
I guess Netflix is dying apparently.
Fuck yeah, dude. They've lost so many subscribers. It's because they like kill their shows, and then they also
keep hiking the prices, and
then like you know what would help Netflix if they wouldn't put the little N in the corner of their original movies, because maybe more people will fucking watch them.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit here and watch your orange color grading.
Yeah,
you ever notice that they all
do. Yeah.
The only reason I don't get rid of it's because I think You Should Leave is on it.
Yeah.
Also, I don't pay for it. I share passwords.
Our Flag Means Death is on HBO Max. It's a Max original, so.
Oh, good.
We're not sponsored, but I recommend it.
So that's probably going to be good then.
It's very
on
good.
HBO.
It's very good. I recommend it.
Yeah, dude. Fuck Netflix, man.
Yo, man. Fuck Netflix.
They're just squelching the creativity. Like that Adam Project movie.
I thought it was good.
It like looks like a bunch of other movies.
Yeah. That
they just like said, this will probably get people to click on it because it's like comfort movies.
I think I forgot who directed it. The director of that directed another movie that was pretty good, and it was fairly similar. But I liked it. Me and Jordan were tearing up at the end. It was really sweet.
Well, it's like
Mark Ruffalo's in it.
None of them are bad movies. There's just something that's so. Oh, hi
Pip.
They just have this like uniformity that they like require, and that they all look the same no matter the genre. Like a horror movie will have that orange like look to it, and then the comedies and the actions and the period pieces too.
Yeah,
I'm like, so it seems like they want more. They want to control more of the creative process than like just trusting directors with, the direction they want to take the movies. But I think the last Netflix movie I watched was like Don't Look Up.
I liked it. I like Don't Look Up.
I liked it too, but I just don't think it was.
Pip, be careful. You're gonna press a reset
I don't think
button.
it was good at achieving what it was trying to do. Like it was just like it's like Clapter. You're like, oh, haha, those fucking idiots that aren't me. Yeah. Or like a good satire actually challenges you.
Right.
Because I didn't really feel like I felt like it was a movie that was just making fun of people that aren't going to watch the movie in the first place, like climate change deniers.
Right.
It was just me having a nice laugh and like, oh, that person looks like Trump. I don't like Trump, so I'm going to laugh.
Yeah.
At how ridiculous they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the ending. I liked it when it was really ridiculous.
Oh yeah, the ridiculous parts are fun.
But it was like the message that at the same time, or like.
I think
like it didn't challenge me to like change my horrible habits of like buying Amazon and like
I mean we all have to drive, and we all like I don't think anybody's anytime soon going to be able to just like go out and buy a Tesla, just medium class, and in this economy. And we have to use gas, a lot of us, as means to get by. Hi. So I don't know.
Hi.
But anyways,
look at this kid.
Yeah.
Put your butt down.
Yeah.
Here, face the camera.
We did get another subscriber. We have 19 subscribers now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're booming.
Dude, you're female cats, man. I tell you what.
They love you.
Look at it.
Yeah. She's just lovely.
They push their butts up to your hand.
They do that.
You know why they do that?
Yeah.
Me too.
It's just a reflex, I think. What? Stop sexualizing my cats.
I'm not the one doing it. You know what movie I watched the other day?
What?
Mystic Pizza.
What's that one? I think I might have seen it.
It's like Julia Roberts like breakout movie.
I think I've heard of it.
Coming of age 80s movie.
Yeah.
About the three, like two sisters and one friend. And
yeah. Did Rachel make you watch it?
Why do you assume that?
Because I doubt that you would just want to watch this just on your own.
I thought it was the prequel to Mystic River.
Oh,
so I put it on.
Mystic Pizza and then Mystic River. Yeah, makes sense.
Makes sense, right? Yeah, I've not seen Mystic River either.
Okay,
heard that's dark.
Yeah. But come up here. Anyways, I don't think there's really much else. Oh, me and Jordan, did I tell you already? We went to a birthing class on last Saturday. Did we talk about that already?
No.
Yeah, we went to a birthing class, and it was like a 6-hour long lecture.
Holy shit!
It was at the hospital, and we got a tour of
information overload.
It was a lot of information. We got to tour the maternity side and look at the delivery rooms and the.
Okay.
Yeah, she got claws.
Holy shit!
We got to look at the triage rooms and the waiting rooms and kind of got the process of it all. It was pretty cool. It was an interesting situation. So it just made everything more real. I feel like just that it's actually
good
coming
to
up.
get like a kind of know what
or
to expect,
getting yourself into
kind of a drill.
Yeah. It was very much like a drill. Yeah.
So
next Wednesday she'll be at 37 weeks, which is crazy. So she's doing good though, and she's got some energy here and there, and
that's good.
She loves you.
Hey, Grayson doesn't do this to me.
No, Pip is probably one of the loveliest cats I think I've ever met.
Yeah, it's just like for a cat who's not hungry,
right,
to be this interested in humans.
She's very lovey.
Grayson will come sit by me, but
yeah,
when I pull him in and like cuddle him, he's like, okay, right. I think that's enough.
Yeah, no, she's very, very lovely. Okay,
I'm going to put you in my backpack.
Don't do that. Don't steal my cat. I got my Lou down here.
You want to do that?
Yeah. I don't know if she would like being in a backpack.
I remember Raising Arizona, that movie, when they steal
one
of the quintuplets. Right? They got more than they can handle.
Yes. Yeah. They're not going to miss out one.
Yeah, they won't notice. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, that's a good movie. We were talking last night. We were thinking about movies that have to do with babies or getting babies. We were talking about Due Date, and that's a funny movie too. With Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey. It's good.
It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's a good one. Anyways, we can go ahead and get into the music unless we have anything else to share. Any other updates? Anything?
Nope.
No. I've acquired the Pip now. My little cinnamon roll.
Sigh.
Okay. All right. So today, guys, we're listening to Departure Songs by We Lost the Sea. So just so you guys are aware, before we really jump into this dive of, no pun, because there's a song about a dive, about this about this album. It is a very heavy album as far as the content of it, what some of the songs are about in this album. Departure Songs. Pretty much meaning about, departure, a lot of about, lives and stories, human lives, based on true stories. The band itself has a pretty sad kind of story as well. But the music is very evoking of a lot of those emotions and very good at kind of, again, making you feel like you were it's just a really good album.
All without saying a word.
Yes. There's no vocals in this. There are some words, but it's mostly just
sound
clips and maybe some background, just kind of vocals here and there, but nothing actual words or anything. But so let me pull up and then I'll play the intro. I didn't forget about it.
I know you didn't.
Are you sure? You sure you didn't? Okay, you didn't think I? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, you're on your fucking shit today.
I'm trying to be.
You're doing great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So this is Ear Burners. Welcome to the Ear Burners.
Welcome. Dude, the fucking claws are sharp, man.
What was that?
Her claws are so sharp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
She claws the shit out of my jeans. She'll try climbing up me still,
Yeah.
but she's like too fat to actually like carry her weight. But she's ripped a few holes in my jeans.
That's okay. That's more of a stylish thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she gets at you on any of those like little style holes you got, like those little
The
things. Like,
style holes.
what else would they be called?
Oh, that's cute. I love it.
She gets you
And
right,
we're back.
right in the style hole. Anyways, we're back, and again, we are going to be talking about departure songs by the band We Lost the Sea. And Brock actually did send me over and some more supplemental information about this album
Yeah. We should pull that up. Can we do that?
onto the computer.
Yeah, that might be nice.
Okay.
It's a little reading material, but I mean, I think that's more of a dive into the songs themselves. But
Okay.
yeah, so I feel like we first heard this band like when this came out. I'm pretty sure like this was 2015. We were like sad college kids.
Yeah, I remember you showed it to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was into a lot of post-rock music at the time, and I think by this point I was kind of bored of the genre because like you've heard this sound so many times, like from Godspeed You Black Emperor to Explosions in the Sky and Mono, some of those, and Mogwai, some of those kind of juggernauts of the late 90s and early 2000s. So I mean, you kind of know what you're getting with an album like this. Like, we're gonna start quiet and then we're gonna crescendo. And it's going to be maybe some tremolo picking and some melodies, and it's going to be evocative of somberness, but also hopefulness, maybe. So like by this point, I was like, I've kind of heard what this genre has to offer. And then at some point, I think I was on Bandcamp or something, and I saw this like album cover, and I was like, that looks cool. And then I like checked it out, and the first song was A Gallant Gentleman, and I immediately was like, whoa, this is pretty sick. And it's actually like you can get the song over with pretty quickly too, and to like kind of hit the peaks that it does in that amount of time. I was really impressed by.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
and then the more I listened to it, like I didn't really know the whole story of it or like what the songs meant. So I think it really does add a lot of like uniqueness to it, where I think a lot of other albums in this genre that come out post 2010 kind of just get forgotten about.
Yeah.
Because like if you've heard an album like this, you've heard most of like the genre, but the way that they've kind of incorporated a little more creativity and like more backstory and more than just making pretty songs. I mean, it definitely that's why we're still talking about it today, and
Yeah.
as opposed to the numerous other bands that forgotten about. Because like I always go back to like the originals, like Godspeed. I mean, they're probably my favorite post-rock band or experimental rock or whatever. But I mean, all that time in between then and now, I'm like, I don't really listen to the genre outside of like my favorites.
Mhm.
And this one's definitely one it is, and I think it's because they cared a little bit about the theme and like actually making it more than just pretty music, like I said.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Godspeed always had a story too, and their cryptic sound bites and kind of mysterious lore to it. I think that's what kept people coming back to, and I think that kind of got lost as time went on.
Mm-hmm.
And I blame Explosions in the Sky and Friday Night Lights for that.
Okay.
Because isn't there music like all over that show?
Oh, I don't even know.
I think that's like what made it popular. Was that show? So like people liked,
Mm-hmm.
like that, that warm tone, like in Gallant Gentleman. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
hear
yeah,
that in
yeah.
commercials now, and
Yeah.
usually in a major key though, so it's not as cool, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so found this gem. I think I showed it to Trevor on a drunken stupor, and Trevor really liked it. So,
Yeah, it was a drunken stupor is what happened.
And one thing I didn't really look like this little article is nice because I only knew the story of the last two tracks. I mean, and I kind of had an idea about the others, like and like the artwork kind of summarizes everything in an interesting way. But this little article kind of gives a little more context into the stories, because the band previously their first two albums, they were kind of a post-metal band, kind of like Cult of Luna, or a more somber version, maybe a little Rosetta, or not really ISIS sounding. I think ISIS is a little more on the like the Neurosis kind of sludgy side.
Okay.
But so yeah, they were super depressing too before this too. But the lead singer actually took his life after, I think it was 2012, like shortly after the release of their second album. I don't think they really got to tour it much at all. So the band, instead of replacing him, decided to just kind of change genres and carry on as an instrumental band, and they kind of shifted into more like melancholic kind of post-rock sound. And then they kind of made this album as an homage to him, and also kind of telling it through the stories of like historically adventurous people who through their quest, ended up meeting their end, through like notable like quests, but respectable like quests, but also like sad that they died.
Yeah.
So I mean, each song is kind of a reflection on, or like a kind of a movement through their kind of story or adventure, I guess.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting how they frame the music around each. Like, there's one that deals with, and we'll talk a bit about it. Like a diver, and like the music kind of has the feel of, you're going deeper and deeper, and it includes some audio other than just the instruments that kind of give you that feel as well, like the bubbling of like a scuba tank, or like the breathing of it, right?
Yeah.
And some actual historic things from we were just talking about, that transatlantic accent. It kind of gives you a little bit of this narration in the Challenger 1 and 2. So it's interesting because it is kind of a history lesson and really touching music all at the same time. Because I had a lot of interest in space and a lot of interest in the Challenger missions and things like that. And this, it's not in a way that's it's not like well, they're just kind of capitalizing off of these tragedies. No, it's like they're kind of in a way.
Well, it's not on the nose, and I think
exactly.
Sometimes bands will like to glamorize their personal traumas, but
right.
like they're not too mysterious about what they're doing.
Right.
Or this, like I said, like I'd listened to it and I didn't really know the backstories of several of these songs. It wasn't until I heard like the Ronald Reagan speech at the end of the last track that I was like, oh fuck, that was what I just went through. And I'm like, damn, that's heavy.
Yeah.
And then you go back and then you're like, whoa, okay, so that actually like follows and the story of it. And I think that's cool versus like if they just laid it out there. I mean, all the details are there if you want them, but they're not necessary to really enjoy the music. It does bring it to a whole other level that I don't think a band in this genre has achieved in a really long time.
Yeah. So supplemental information that Brock had provided, I just looked it up, and this is an article by Ignacio de Vincenzi. I hope I said your name right.
Ignacio.
We Lost the Sea,
That's all I got.
Departure Songs, an analysis of. And it's a pretty cool article. I've kind of skimmed a little bit of it, and it gives a little bit more background on the band and the album, each track by track, just to give you an idea of what the track is written about. So I'm just going to read from the top here. So it says, losing someone you love or care about is a moment that every human being endures at some time of their life. It is often described as a period of grief that takes enough time to overcome, and it is represented in many ways depending on the people it affects. For Australian post-metal band We Lost the Sea, tragedy struck hard when their singer and friend Chris Torpey took his own life in early 2013. You had mentioned that the band had went through that.
Yeah.
The band decided to move on and carry the legacy of their fallen brother, reinventing themselves with their 2015 release Departure Songs, creating a powerful and emotional album dedicated to real people whose lives ended in tragic events, telling the story of 4 events without a single word to be spoken. This is a tribute to human achievements, failures, and losses, with glimpses of hopes to be found on its devastating yet beautiful sound. Yeah, the album cover is so beautifully done too, because it tells the story almost everything in this.
Yeah.
It has the gentleman in this. It has the rocket. It's got the sea. It's so well done. This album just in general. But yeah, the point of, like it's saying the grief, like when we're talking about the loss of a human who, it's there's a whole lot of different feelings that go into that. And I'm explaining this to people that are listening. I'm sure if you're listening, you've probably experienced a significant loss, I would imagine, right? And there's a lot of emotion that goes into that. You go through all the stages, anger, you go through bargaining, you go through depression, and finally you find yourself somewhere at some place in acceptance. And it's a journey in itself, grief, and I really think it was such a, kind of a wholesome, kind of interesting thing that this band came together. It's just like, what we should do is we should come together creatively and focus this grief in a way where we honor others that have, it's interesting they went that
It's such
route.
a really, not mature, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but like just
it's very human. I don't know.
like, I don't know. Because instead of like telling the story of them, they've like
Right.
they've done it by telling it through others, and that's
Mhm.
really interesting.
Right.
Because like, yeah, again, without being on the nose about what the story's about, like they weren't really
Hmm.
broadcasting about like their own grief.
Right.
Because like, yeah, it took how many times listening to it before, like, you do some research and you realize like, wow, this band
Hmm.
has experienced a loss themselves.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know this band before this album
Hmm.
either.
And their sound was so much different. Like it was like a metal band, right? They
Yeah.
like screaming and like,
Yeah,
like,
they were, yeah, definitely I mean, they certainly still, like, you can tell, like, it wasn't like a far reach, but I think when you don't have a vocalist, you have to
mhm.
kind of shift your gears toward another kind of focal point to kind of keep the listener in, and so
Yeah.
the songs change like that. I think that's why, because there's certainly some heavy moments. I think the second track, and then Challenger Part 1, I mean, they get pretty intense,
Yeah.
but I think there's just more of that intensity when you have a singer.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, they're certainly capable of it, but I think yeah, they certainly kind of had to shift their songwriting
Yeah.
to capitalize on being an instrumental band.
Yeah. The first intro track to this, and we'll probably just go just one from the beginning down to, because it's kind of like how this does. We'll just kind of start from one, work our way down. The first track that this album starts off with is the one that we have mentioned a few times in past episodes on really master classes of are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Allergies?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Is it the house or is it the
I've been sniffly for the past week.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's nothing. No.
Okay. But the intro track here is what me and Brock have kind of described as being kind of like a master class in build up, in evoking emotion through music, and progressing a motif, and then really exploding with it when the time is right. Right. So like other examples of that I can think of is like, if anybody here is a fan of like Hans Zimmer, the Inception soundtrack, what's the name of the song I'm thinking of? But anyways, it's a good example of that too. But A Gallant Gentleman. So again, this one doesn't really feature any like back narration. This one doesn't really feature any of that. It's pretty much just
It
music.
kind of does.
I didn't hear any narrating in.
Oh, like sound bites.
Correct.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's about an explorer who kind
Yeah.
of goes off away from his crew after going to base camp, and
Yeah.
I think and he dies of some disease, I think,
So
from what I remember reading.
I'll read this. So thank you. So Again from this article, album opener, A Gallant Gentleman starts slowly. I'll actually maybe start playing it too while I read it over it.
Yeah, it kind of fits like with that narrative. Because there's when the everything fades out at the end, it's just the choirs. That's kind of like him kind of drifting off.
Yeah.
Going away from like his team and dying.
Yeah. Okay, so let me pull it back up. Album opener, A Gallant Gentleman starts slowly with his guitar chords, followed by a calm piano. It pays homage to Lawrence Oates, a captain and member of the Robert Falcon Scott South Pole Expedition, which tried to be the first humans in history to reach that point of the world. They found out that another team had achieved this before, leaving them no choice but to return to their base in this bleak land. The sound feels cold, but the guitars start to get louder and heavier, followed by a vocal choir, representing the journey of these men to return, even when facing death or severe injuries. Captain Lawrence Oates, the most afflicted man of the crew, developed gangrene due to frostbite. He decided to go against the words of his fellow members and left the resting tent. As his life disappears in the middle of the snow, so is the intensity of the song, until you can hear only the vocal choir. So pretty much, they just watched him fade into the...
Well, I don't get is why he did it. Like, was it to like find a path to get everyone back, or
maybe he was determined on getting it back to everybody? Yeah.
Or did he go like the opposite way and back, like to try to achieve the goal?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know. That was the only thing that confused me about this article.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Or is he just like, fuck you guys, I'm gonna go?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he had felt that
he was like burdening everyone by being...
Yeah, that if I'm sick, that I'm just gonna be dragging everyone else behind, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go on my own, and so that you guys have a chance and don't have to worry about me.
Damn.
Yeah. Going back to just like explorers and like I was sometimes I do these weird dives on YouTube where I'll watch like videos of people doing like crazy mountain climbing. There was actually also a Netflix documentary about the alpinist. Have you heard of that?
No.
Like one of the greatest alpine climbers ever. And he was very young, and he did not like a social media following. Like he just wanted to be by himself. That's why nobody really knew about him until people were like, yeah, this kid is just free climbing these crazy mountains and telling the world. Like he'll say, oh, I just did it. And the world will be like, well, prove it. Like that's a crazy time to do that. Like we'll take your word for it, but we'd like to see you do it. And then he'd take a camera crew and it's like, holy shit, this kid is doing this all on his own, like self-trained and everything. He, so let me see. Let me pause this real quick. Let me pull it up because it is actually another really sad story because he does end up losing his life on a mountain with another climber.
Oh, fuck.
Made it to the top and went to what is the word when you go down it? You wrap. What is the word? Rappel. They tried rappelling down the mountain, and I think they got caught in an avalanche, and they were buried under it. So,
I was thinking of that Joseph Gordon-Levitt movie, the 127 Hours.
Yeah. That's another one.
That guy lived though.
He lived. Yeah.
He had like saw.
That was the James Franco movie. Yeah.
Oh, James Franco.
That. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, that's the movie. That's the he plays.
I get them mixed.
What'd you say?
I thought it was Joe Gordon-Levitt.
No, I could see it. I could see why you would have thought that, but no, it was Franco.
White guys.
But this climber was Marc-Andre Leclerc. He climbed alone from far from the limelight on remote alpine faces. In this show, it's a good show. I recommend. It's a Netflix show, but it's a movie. It's really good. Like he's just out there, man. He just wanted feels at home on the face of rocks and ice, and there's a part where like he's just climbing the face of a frozen waterfall just himself, and he mixes it. That was his warm up for the day. Yeah.
Jesus.
And it has a very much similar effect. I did tear up quite a bit at the end of it because it's this kid. It's like
heavy, dude.
Everybody was warning him. It's just like, you keep climbing like this, you're not gonna do this your whole life, right? You got to know when to stop. And it pretty much turned into him losing his life on this mountain. and which seemed to be one of the more like he actually was with another person, which was interesting, is because all of his other climbs are
Did the other person die?
yeah, they
Man,
both
that
died.
sucks.
Um,
Well, and like in the theme of this like album, even with like the Ronald Reagan soundbite at the end, I mean, like there's this whole kind of like note that like they were doing what they loved,
yeah,
and like it's tragic, but like I mean, would they have wanted it any other way? Like
right.
I think of Steve Irwin like
Mm-hmm.
dying doing what he loved,
Right. Yeah.
even though he didn't die by a crocodile, which was like kind of
Oh,
lame, but-
animals. You
Yeah,
know, like that was
animals,
his whole
yeah.
thing was animals, and I've seen people write just like or make like notes of just like, Steve Irwin in heaven with this stingray, and it's just like you were only doing what you were supposed to do, mate. Like that's like his
Yeah.
mentality would just been like I would have stung me too type of thing if that was me. Like I spooked you. That was on me. I don't think that he would have been like that was the animal's fault, right?
Right.
He would be he would be loving and understanding if he could. I just know that about.
Well, and like
Yeah.
personally, like I don't totally understand because I'm like, yeah, you go out there, you were probably like running that risk where like, yeah, that's not something I'm interested in doing, like
Right.
pushing my chips further than
Right.
I need to. But I mean,
No.
that's just because I get my kicks elsewhere.
Yeah,
And unfortunately,
yeah,
you
I don't ever do anything to get my kicks that puts my life in danger. Like I like kind of seeing to the limit I can push myself, like tattoos. Like I just got my elbow tattooed, and I like to
Yeah.
kind of see how far I can push myself because that's a known really difficult place to get one, and it did really hurt. There was moments where I was like really just kind of push myself through it, and also with like the hot ones thing we did with our mutual friends, and you actually did it too. But yeah, it sucked.
fucking sucked.
But like it's just kind of that thing. It's just like how far can I push this? How much pain can I feel? How much, like to the extent of, humanly possible can I do this? And I think in those kind of sports, it's I think they kind of get that mentality too of just like
Well, they get the rush too.
they get the rush from it, and I think they get this feeling of, I'm invincible, like I can do this, I can do that, like, and eventually it does catch up to you, like and some people do it forever and they don't have any problems, but like I think even the most experienced climbers and people like that will tell you is just like, look,
There's always that factor of
mm-hmm.
nature.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
nature usually wins in the end.
The thing I was talking another thing about, like I would go in deep dives on those YouTube videos and I'd watch like cavers who like are deep into the ground in these claustrophobic, like they literally have to like put sheets of plastic on the ground to make it easier for them to squeeze their way through, and they're like basically climbing in like this and like trying to like it just
They're cats.
yeah and like they're like, why do you guys do this? And they're like, yeah, we don't do this because we know we're gonna go and like die. We know we're gonna get out. We do this, for research, and they map the caves.
Yeah.
And some of these caves, like, yeah, they have to literally be in like they can't move their shoulders, but somehow they like squirm their way through. And then you see like other mountains, like like there's bodies on Everest that they use now as landmarks. They don't take the bodies off Everest when you die on it.
They don't.
No.
What the fuck?
Have you heard of I think it's called green boots?
No.
I know this is kind of fucked, but it's kind of on the same topic of the album. I think it's green boots or pink boots. I think actually I was right. Yeah, green boots. Anybody that's watching, this is kind of I don't know if this will get us taken off YouTube or not, but I probably won't share the whole thing. It was Show Brock, but this is green boots, and his body is so perfectly preserved on Mount Everest that
wow,
they just that's his landmark. You're at a certain point on the mountain when you reach green boots.
That's damn.
Yeah. And there's other areas too that it's marked by where you're at. So like here's an example.
So like the families like don't get the bodies back.
No.
Wow, like ever?
I think it would take a lot of money
Oh,
I'm guessing, and I don't know. But
well,
like,
this is my fault for treating Mr. Deeds as like an actual movie that, because the grandpa dies on Everest, and then Mr. Deeds inherits all of his money. That's
Mhm.
the extent of my mountain climbing knowledge, because they removed him from yeah.
Yeah, I guess he was like really high up there too.
Oh wow.
But like you hit that, and like you're at a certain pass on the mountain. Like that's like a place. The same with divers. There's a diving place in I think it's in the Dead Sea. It's in one of the. It's kind of in the Middle East, kind of in that area. But it's a well known diving spot that, and I know we're going to be talking about divers too. But it's a diving spot, and it goes deep down, and what divers want to do is they want to go through what is this underground kind of like cave that opens on one end and opens on the other. So it's kind of like a channel. Like you try to make the loop. It's like a halo type of thing. You go in and you try to make it through the other side. And what happens as inexperienced divers, they go down and they don't take enough gas and oxygen with them, and they run out before they can make it. So what happens is they go too deep into the cavern, and they realize they're running out of air, and they're halfway through. They try turning back around, and they get stuck, and by the time they try to go back through, it's too late. So there's like bodies of these divers in this.
That's eerie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they leave the divers. They leave. There's a lot of people that are still like bodies still in caves.
Fuck.
That they don't get because
if I went mountain climbing though,
they just seal the cave. Yeah.
My landmark would be at base camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably where I die. He died.
He died the second he set foot on the fucking mountain.
Fucking touched the Himalayas and died.
Just died, dropped.
And that will be my Guinness World Record, as shortest time on Mount Everest before dying.
Right. And the thing is, again, I'm not trying to, like Green Boots and anybody that has ever attempted something like that, the courage and the bravery and the mental strength and the conditioning that you put your body through to even breathe at those pressures. There's so little air as the farther you go up, and it's and same with divers. Like I would go down 20 feet if that and freak the fuck out and go back up.
I don't think I'd like going to Denver.
You went like just like in the mountains, what you're saying?
No, just the city. Like I'm trying to be like, oh, this is a little too high for me.
Oh, Colorado. I love mountains. Don't get me wrong. I actually
been in a long time. I love them too, but I feel
I
like
love mountains.
just the air quality. I'd be like, oh, I don't know.
I can't.
What if I get a tummy ache?
You hit the base of the Himalayas.
I'm a pussy, and it's like easy
my
for
tummy.
And I'm sure people look at like this type of sport and they're like, well, why would you why are you doing this? You don't have to do this.
And I think it might be something like maybe they're trying to prove to themselves. I don't know. I honestly,
it's
I'm
just
not
like a whole different
like
mentality than I have, and I just don't think I'll properly understand
a lot
it.
of discipline, man.
Because I'm like people die just trying to live, and the privilege of being able to go out and do this is just a whole other level.
Yeah, it's
and I'm
inspired by the story.
Yeah, it is inspiring. I'm just not gonna do it, and I'm not gonna totally get it.
It's a lot different than like you see those parkour people that like are on the top of like the Burj Khalifa and like running around the tops of skyscrapers and stuff like that.
They're trying to die.
I think that's kind of like flexing a bit on it, and it's like, okay, you're really
trying to make a TikTok.
You're really flirting with death here. You're just trying to get a TikTok and a view, and they're like doing flips and shit on top of like
you're not gonna go up there and meditate.
Doing pull ups on like bars that are like.
But when that came out, like that was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, those literally give me like
urban ninja.
They make me nauseous just watching them. Have you seen those where they're like on the top of skyscrapers doing crazy shit and flips? Yeah, I hate it too.
Yeah, fuck that.
I saw one where a guy was on like those hoverboard things and like was like riding it like right to the edge of the fucking skyscraper, riding it back and then riding it forward, like doing that.
Who trusts a hoverboard that much, man?
These people, man.
I don't even like
holding their friends like this.
That's such an unnatural thing to like push your feet forward and like like we perfected the 2-wheel vehicle. It's called a bike.
Yes,
it's perfect. It did not. You removed the shit. You made a
You made a Segway
Yeah.
without handlebars.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Like, I was gonna say a monocycle, but like I guess it has 2 wheels, so it's still
It's
technically
still
a
yeah.
bicycle.
Yeah, that's
But
funny.
what a fucking stupid invention.
So fucking stupid, man. You'll
It's a fucking piece of shit. Yeah, fuck hoverboards.
Yep.
It's asking to die.
But going back to
I do like riding them when I
I
have someone
never
when I have someone
help.
help me get on it. I'm like, okay.
I got this, and then yeah.
I like ride it around my parents' pool. And
Yeah, I
you
can
know,
see
it's kind
that.
of a bit of a
Does
risk.
your nephew have one?
Yeah, he has
Yeah.
one. Yeah. I guess I used to do pretty stupid shit back in the day, like trying to rent my bike,
I
and
used to be a piece of shit.
I used to be a piece of shit. I remember I tried to take my bike off
Yeah.
this like ledge that was like it was like a 4-foot drop.
Yeah.
I just did not pull up my handlebars, and I just fucking went over. It's on someone's cell phone. Like
Oh,
I need
wow.
I want that footage, but I don't think
Yeah.
I'll ever get it.
Yeah, we used to do stupid shit all the time on bikes when I was a kid. We had a path in our backyard, and when I was a kid, like really young, I used to live in town, and the sidewalk we had was really cracked and kind of like up. And I remember one time, like the neighborhood kids were being cool and ramping off, and it's like, okay, I'll try it. And I chickened out the last minute, but I still hit it, and I biffed and ate shit. Yeah,
I used to like climbing trees.
that's kind of what my elbow's reminding me of. Getting it tattooed reminds me as a kid when you'd like skid your elbow really bad
Oh,
on the
yeah.
pavement. Yeah.
I remember I climbed this tree, and I was like 23. Like it wasn't that long ago. I was like I was like drunk in this tree, and I had like this Corona
There's
bottle
Brock
that
again.
I just polished it off, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm gonna scare my sister when she walks by. I'm gonna drop this bottle up there.
We were friends at this point.
I think this album was out at this point.
Oh,
I'm
God.
pretty sure I listened to it
Oh,
like
my
around
God.
this time, and like,
Yeah.
I like missed, and instead of hitting her, it hits the pavement and just it just shatters. It's just like, Brock, what the fuck? It was nowhere near her. I don't know why
I love matching your sister. Just
what the fuck? And I was like,
just in the tree. Just like,
and I just had to lie. And I was like, oh my God, I dropped the bottle on accident. Oh no, our table. It's broken.
the table. You broke the
It's a
table.
TikTok.
Oh, okay.
No, I dropped the. No, it's just a bottle. But
Oh my
everyone's like,
God.
"What the fuck, Brock?" You seen that other video of me trying to scale this fireplace
I don't think I've seen that.
where my mom's
I
like
didn't know you
yelling
liked-
at me, and then she's like,
I didn't know you like climbing shit so much.
"I don't anymore." But she's
Okay.
like, "Get down," and then like I fall, and then you just hear this horrible, and then I'm just quiet, and the video ends.
Not here. I don't know.
But there were these 2 windows
Yeah.
on either side of where I landed, and just
Yeah.
this small part, like a panel, like maybe that long.
Yeah.
Like if I had fallen any like 6 inches in either direction, I would have like probably gone through the window.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's not good, dude. Yeah,
I used to
didn't-
drink a lot,
You definitely have cut back a lot. You really don't drink
like
a lot.
99%.
You really don't drink really at all.
Not really.
No.
But yeah, it's,
Good for you.
it's 'cause
I'm
I'm
happy
like
for you.
a fucking idiot. You know,
There was
I'm
a
on the
while there
sauce.
that yeah, it was a lot. Not
Yeah.
you, just us. And it was just
Oh, it was so fun though, right? But
well, we can hang out and not have it, and we have a good time. And
Yeah.
I think that's.
I hate being that guy too. You don't need it to have fun.
Well, I mean,
like I used to be a piece of shit.
used to be a piece of shit. Sloppy steaks.
Yeah.
I-
Well, I don't like totally shaming people, but
No, I'm not shaming people.
for like drinking, because
No.
like I think there's a time where,
right.
but it is like when you
Now,
hit.
if you know you have a problem with it, then you know you have a problem with it.
Yeah.
That's the addictions there.
But I do think when you
but
when
yeah.
you hit 30 and it's still like the thing that gets you really excited, I mean, there may be some
Right.
time to like reevaluate your interests. Like
Yeah.
not trying to tell people what to do, but
Right.
like, also grow up.
Right.
It's expensive too.
It does get expensive.
I like that. I started drinking for taste,
Yeah.
go to
and
the bars and get a little sour, and
Mhm.
yeah, I mean that's nice. And if I get a little lit because of that, I mean that's okay. But it wasn't the goal,
Right. Right.
'cause,
No,
like I can get drunk, cheaply, really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you don't have a tolerance.
it's called it's called get that bottle of vodka that looks like it's glass, but it's actually plastic.
yeah. If you drop
drink-
that, your sister, it won't shatter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But they're really lying to you about that, and that's how you know that that's shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's when they try to make it look like it's better than it is.
Yeah.
But you just get that for like $5.
Yeah.
I can get drunk.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
I do want to get back to the
Sorry.
song. You're fine.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're fine.
So,
But yeah,
yeah,
'cause
we should move on because like we could talk about this song all day.
yeah, we're right at the build up though, and I do want to show the build up.
Yeah, show the build up. Show the build.
We're like 3 minutes into A Gallant Gentleman. You hear the drums kind of pounding in a little bit.
And this is like the template for a post rock crescendo.
Yeah.
But honestly, I don't think anyone's done it better in a short amount of time.
I just love how simple it is, but at the same time, the layers they put into it, the reverb.
But it's such a good melody.
Yeah. I love the background vocals. Yeah, it's so nicely done. I love the I like
Yeah.
that.
And that's something that I think is pretty unique.
Yeah.
For a phrase.
Yeah. And it just kind of continues that phrase and builds it up more and more. I really do encourage anybody just to listen to this and really get into it. Blare it. It's really good to play loud because it starts really soft and then it gets really, really loud. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, let's go ahead and go move on to how do you say this? Bogatry.
It's a good question.
Bogatry.
Bogatry? Yeah.
I always knew when this one was coming on.
It's
a bit different. It kind of continues this kind of cool, kind of subtle, kind of
yeah.
And then it kind of
this is the one about it's like a Ukrainian word, I think.
Yeah, let me I don't know as much about this one.
All right, yeah. Why don't you hit play and just play in the background?
Okay.
So it's got a nice
It is. It's very nice narrating music. So let me read a little bit more about
because this is the one about Chernobyl, this story.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what this one's about?
Yeah, it's about 3 people who had to go back into Chernobyl to try to like there it says it in here
I could read. Yeah,
you can read it.
Let me read it. Yeah, I didn't know that. That's crazy. Okay, so Bogatry,
Bogatiri, yeah,
is an Ukrainian folklore that tells the story of 3 valiant knights, and it's the perfect word to describe the next track. Opening with a persistent bass line and Eastern-influenced guitars, the knights of the story are Valery Bespalov, Alexei Ananenko, and Boris Baranov, known as the Suicide Squad, who volunteered to sacrifice their life to open the sluice gates of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant to release the radiated water found in the bubbler pools that could lead to another explosion if mixed with materials that were found on that part of the plant, causing another disaster. With only diving suits and a lamp, they descended into the gates. The song starts to build up its impending doom, leaving room for the guitars and drums to crescent in their sound, as the only source of light they had was lost in the process. It crushes you with a darkened, almost claustrophobic sound, only to end with fading guitars that represent their life, which were reduced to mere days.
This is probably the darkest track because I think they knew that they were going to die, unlike the others where or I guess Gallant Gentleman, he kind of knew he's gonna die too, but I mean, this like
that
definitely
the
most
death,
like the most kind of evil sounding kind of, but it's got a nice little groove to it.
Does,
I mean, but I mean, it really does follow like the journey, and it just gets more crushing because I think they have to dive down too. I think they say that they have diving suits and shit.
So I actually know a little bit since I read it, like just a little bit about because I've read about this disaster before. I think a lot of people know Chernobyl, correct, right? I did know a little bit that's what had to happen, is that others did have to go back in. But my God, could you imagine that mental, that bringing yourself to that point in your mind that
you're literally dying to save others.
Sacrificing yourself to die a pretty terrible death.
And like it's certain. Because like some when you go to like war or anything, like there's always the thought that I could probably come home. This one, like, no, there's like 0 chance.
Right. Yeah, and I've gone down creepypastas and history of Chernobyl and have you ever heard of like the elephant's foot, for example?
No.
The elephant's foot is a mass of radioactive material that like melted through the floor at Chernobyl, and it's like super radiated.
Huh.
Yeah. So
The elephant's foot,
yeah. The elephant's foot will cool over time, but will remain radioactive. And if you were able to touch it, warm for centuries to come. Yeah, it's crazy. So Chernobyl's foot, elephant's foot, so that's it right there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Is a toxic mass of corium. So this is actually somebody close up on it. 8 months after the April 1986 nuclear... I'll keep playing the music, but let me turn it down a little bit. At the Chernobyl nuclear power plant in Ukraine, workers who entered a corridor beneath the damaged number 4 reactor discovered a startling phenomenon, black lava that had flowed from the reactor core as if it had been some sort of human-made volcano. One of the hardened masses was particularly startling, and the crew nicknamed it the elephant's foot because it resembled the foot of the massive mammal. Sensors told the workers that the lava formation was so highly radioactive that it would take 5 minutes for a person to get a lethal amount of exposure, as Kyle Hill detailed in this 2013 article for Science magazine Nautilus. A decade later, the U.S. Department of Energy's International Nuclear Safety Project, which collected hundreds of pictures of Chernobyl, obtained several images of the elephant's foot, which is estimated to weigh 2.2 tons. Since then, the elephant's foot, which is known as a lava-like fuel-containing material, has remained a macabre, how do you say that word? Macabre object of fascination.
I've only seen it written.
But what is it actually?
I don't know. I don't really know what that word means.
Macabre. I've heard people say it correctly.
It's like a thing that.
Yeah. It's a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a thing with things.
Yeah. But that's it right there. I guess somebody shot it once. Like
someone shot it?
Bulletproof, I think.
Why the fuck did he shoot that? Jesus Christ.
But you can hear as the music.
Was it a fucking Florida man?
Florida man goes to
this
Chernobyl.
hurricane. Yeah. Yeah. If you're from Florida, you're not allowed to go to Chernobyl.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
Because elephant's foot was so radioactive, scientists at the time used a camera on a wheel to photograph it. A few researchers got close enough to take samples for analysis. What they found was the elephant's foot was not the remnants of the nuclear fuel. Instead, the nuclear experts explained that the elephant's foot is composed of a rare substance called corium, which is produced in a nuclear accident when nuclear fuel and parts of the reactor core structures overheat and melt, forming a mixture. Corium is only formed naturally 5 times in history, once during the 3 Mile Island accident in Pennsylvania in 1979, once at Chernobyl, and 3 times at the Fukushima Daiichi plant disaster in Japan in 2011.
Man.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, man. But to walk into certain death, to know that you're saving the lives of others in this tragic incident at Chernobyl.
Yeah, this song is beyond adventure. Like this is duty.
This is sacrifice. This is duty. This is like walking.
Probably the most noble of the
similar
songs.
to A Gallant Gentleman, in that like the description is that as you watch as they fade away into the darkness, right?
Yeah.
So they watch as their lights slowly dim to nothingness, and you know they're not going to come back.
This
right?
one I feel like it's kind of different because I feel like we're with them on this song, where that one I feel like we're
watching
the crew watching The Gallant Gentleman, but this one, like, because the music is just
we're on this trail with them.
Yeah, because Gallant Gentleman gets epic and then like fades off. This one, like, fucking
we're writing it down.
I am them. Yeah.
The feelings that you might have doing this, the anxiety of it, and the thoughts probably yelling at you to turn around, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Because radiation, man, it's like cooking you from the inside out, dude. It's crazy.
It's probably why they sent 3 of them, because if you were alone, you'd probably be more tempted to turn back. You're like, I got my other people here, like accountability and all that.
Right. Yeah.
Man, what do you talk about on the way? Can you talk?
Would you talk? Yeah.
You probably have to like wear a mask and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where it gets heavy, but it's like, this one, I think this gets the heaviest, right? The song?
Yeah. I would say this one probably gets the heaviest. Yeah. Yeah. It's
but another great like motif, and then layers and crescendo. I mean, it's nice, formula.
Yeah. I like the dissonance in this one too.
Yeah. Got a lot of that. And they have 3 guitar players. I mean, it's definitely a nice.
I love the live
attack.
playing of them playing A Gallant Gentleman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have that nice
Right.
hour-long concert, too,
Yeah.
that you can watch. It's pretty nice professional shot. Speaking
of radiation, have you ever heard of the story of tickling the dragon's tail?
I have not. You got some stories, man.
I just know useless information. There's tons of it.
Well,
So tickling the
useless
dragon's
today.
tail is, so if you look at this image here, so this here is a, let me change this.
Oh, I love the.
So let me go down to this one here. So let me pull up this video. So this image here is inside of this casing. There's a sphere here, and there's a metal casing here. I believe it's some kind of metal, but underneath this is just like a core of just pure, I think, let me go back. I think it's uranium. The dragon tail tickles. Let me see if there's actually that's a good image of it, so I'm going to keep that. But I want to get an actual document. The demon core is what it's called. So yeah, so in 1946, a P-239 plutonium core scheduled for detonation was harmlessly melted down and integrated into the United States nuclear stockpile. That was the end of a 14-pound metallic sphere that had killed 2 scientists not 11 months before, the demon core. You could have picked up the spheres of atomic material designed for the bombs that obliterated Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Both Little Boy and Fat Man used subcritical masses of uranium and plutonium, respectively. The cores would be warm to the touch, but the nickel plating that covered World War II's nuclear cores would prevent much of the escaping radiation from harming you. So, Otto Robert Frisch first arrived in the United States. He was placed at Los Alamos to study on multiplication of uranium and plutonium. In other words, these elements naturally eliminate. Yeah, it's just a whole lot of words. But basically, what this thing is, I think it's nickel plated, and there's actually a good video of it. They made a movie about it with John Cusack.
So, like, if you're exposed to it, like, what happens?
You just know, like, they died. So
it's in like a glass thing.
Let me show you.
Dude, oh, okay.
Let me show you.
I don't want to go near that thing.
So tickling the dragon's tail, what they were doing was this sphere that was covering this ball of plutonium uranium. You see this here?
Mm-hmm.
They were literally sticking screwdrivers into it. So if this inside here, this guy right here, let me actually share it on the screen too. This guy here is the mass of radioactive metal, plutonium, I believe. If this goes all the way down and covers it up entirely, this shielding here, it will make this go supercritical. And if this goes supercritical, that's when you're having lots of radiation flying out. So what this thing is doing is kind of letting these photons, and I'm not a fucking scientist, okay, so bear with me, letting all these things fly off of this radioactive, and when this closes, they just bounce back into it, I believe. But they're literally using, and this is true in history, using screwdrivers, and they're like behind this wall here. But
everybody ready?
Why are they fucking with it?
Here we go.
because science, this is the scientific way to do this. You fuck with it to find it out.
No one's wearing any fucking hazmat
Nope.
suits in this.
Nope.
This is probably a period piece.
And this is kind of related because I feel like this story could have made this album easily too. And they're testing to see the levels that are coming off of it.
That's a good program they got.
Yep.
What software is that?
Yep. Literally, just taking a screwdriver and rocking it back and forth.
What the fuck, man?
Over this. You can hear the Geiger and everything clicking and everything going on.
Where is this thing right now?
Everybody back right now.
I think it's somewhere, obviously.
Fucking,
but I think they took it away from people to do this shit with after this.
well, if the aliens come, that's the thing I'd fucking throw out into this fucking space. Bye, moon.
Yep. Bye, moon. It was nice having you. Right here. So somebody dropped.
Fucking music, man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like The Shining.
Somebody's shredding on that violin, man.
Yeah.
Dropped a glass, and what happened is exactly this. It flashes a blue light.
Wow. Well, at least we have those glasses
as
now.
it goes super critical. And he took his hand to take it off.
Nobody move! Don't anybody move! Damn it! Take out everything metal. Drop it to the floor. Mark the position you're standing in and get out.
John dies, right?
The fucking death sentence. They all pretty much died.
So, like...
Just from that amount of radiation.
They looked fine right there.
Things to note, there was no coffee. Slotin's hand slipped for no other reason than it happened to slip. I guess somebody commented on this. The film adjusted this to make his own death seem less like his fault, which it was definitely like, okay, it was his fault. He was fucking messing with a screwdriver. Slotin was known and repeatedly warned for violating safety procedures. He moved the spacers and inserts to prevent this very thing. The blue tint is real. It's radiation particles giving off flashes of light as they ionize in the air. What they can't show is the intense heat wave they all felt, which I would imagine was insane. To be clear, though, yes, it was his fault, but it also wasn't. We have the benefit of hindsight to tell us that he was making a mistake. This was a new field of physics. No one knew just how to approach the safety procedures. So thank you, Mr. Code Mission, who left a comment on this. But yeah.
Wow. So he gave them metal and said leave?
Yeah, in chalk where you were standing. Yeah. Drop your metal, I think, and then anything metal. Right on get the chalk, yeah, and then put chalk on the floor where you were standing, so they can mark where everybody was standing, so to see how far away they were from it. And then yeah,
and then they just left the room, and then they died.
Let me see. Let me Google it.
I'll keep playing the video.
They didn't die immediately, but it was later.
It started.
Yeah, they dropped all their metal that they had, and then chalked up where they were all standing.
Everybody should make it. Except me.
I think, maybe he died because he's the one who touched it and was closest to it.
How much time does he have? It doesn't look so good.
After saving with custom.
Damn.
So let's go ahead and get back to the album.
Fucking science, dude.
Yeah. So
yeah, that could fit on this album, dude.
Oh, absolutely. But this is actual kind of scene of what happened.
That would be a horror. That would be a Swans would have to do that song.
Yeah.
That'd be a good band to recount this horror. Holy shit.
Yeah. Fucking crazy. Anyways,
fucking tickle the dragon's tail.
So Alpinist would probably be good on it. The Chernobyl incident, though. Yeah, this track, you definitely feel the tension as they're continuing to go down into. And then it fades.
And this was a song, admittedly, I didn't spend a lot of time with before this album or this week. Just because, like, I don't know, I didn't really know the story that well.
Right.
You know, everyone knows the Challenger, so I think that's where
your
attention lies.
And the next one is The Last Dive of David Shaw. So I don't know much about David Shaw. I did mention divers here recently.
Yeah. This was a diver who went to get the body of another diver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it says it here. I'm not sure if that diver was alive when he went to get the body.
Okay.
But he ended up dying too. But they both ended up floating to the surface.
Oh, wow.
So I guess he was successful.
But they both died.
Yeah, he got the body out.
But he died in the process. But
yeah, I mean, it says
cover both bodies, but
it says it there. It says, I think it says rescue, so I would assume the other diver was alive or not, or maybe he just wanted to go get the body, I guess.
Well, let me read.
But now that talking about landmarks, it seems
Yeah.
like, why would you if the body was dead?
This track you get to hear, I've cranked it up a bit. You can hear the breathing of like the air
Apparently,
in the water.
The article said there's like a YouTube video they kind of followed, but I didn't really look it up because I'm like, I don't really want to watch someone die.
No, not really, no. So this is where things start to get more personal, what the article says. You might wonder what is the sound clip found in the first minutes of the last dive of David Shaw. And the answer is a video available on YouTube which has the same name of the song and exactly what it says. These are the last moments of Australian diver David John Shaw trying to rescue the body of fellow diver Dion Dreyer, who attempted to break the diving record of almost 250 meters, a feat which Shaw accomplished. As the sound clip ends and the guitars start to once again kick in, so this is actual audio, I guess, of the dive, is what it sounds like. That's eerie.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Didn't know that. As the sound clip ends and the guitars start to once again kick in, followed by drums and then cellos, you descend with David as the song starts to get colder and darker. Then a few moments of tranquility are found in this song, which I think they match the moment in which Shaw finds the body and starts the rescue, only to be assaulted with a breathtaking blast of sound that builds and builds for minutes, representing the last minutes of this diver who attempted to rescue a fellow comrade and tried to do the same thing that he did, failing in the process 10 years ago. After the blast ends and the guitars start to go back to their first minutes, with a beautiful piano piece on the background, you realize what happened. He accomplished his task by giving his own life. If you watch the video, he got stuck while trying to pull the body out of a cave. A few days later, both bodies were found on the surface.
So like that, the diver he's going after is dead, right? Is that kind of what you gather?
That's what it sounds like, yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's that's a ironic
Yeah.
story
Yeah.
because he was successful.
Yeah, but this song is deep. No pun intended. It's just like
Man,
you're
killing it.
I'm sorry.
Let's dive right into this album. Jesus Christ.
But no, you can feel feel it kind of building as he's going deeper and deeper.
Yeah, and like the way the guitars, like you slide your fingers, it kind of gives that aquatic kind of.
Yeah, it has
too.
Definitely an aquatic sound to it. I thought that too when I was listening to it.
But nothing's better than aquatic ambience from the Donkey Kong soundtrack.
Yes. Yep.
Sorry, this is not the time for jokes.
Yeah, it's I guess I didn't know much about, like, when did this happen? When was this?
I guess if we have film of it,
Oh yeah, that's
last
true.
100 years within.
I mean, it had one with him, so Australian aircraft pilot, but it looks like he's got diving tanks on him too. Scuba diver. He must have been an aircraft pilot too. Technical diver and airline pilot. It's
2005, is that what it says?
Dave. It's So this says of David Shaw, but it looks like he goes by Dave Shaw. Australian scuba diver, technical diver and airline pilot for Cathay Pacific, flying to Lockheed. Oh, whatever. Shaw's first rebreather was an inspiration closed circuit rebreather. Eventually died to death beyond its purported capability. Shaw used his cislunar since he believed it had superior redundancy capabilities but could not cope with extreme depth. So let me see his last dive. Oh man. Shaw died on 8 January 2005 while endeavoring to recover the body of Dion Dreyer.
When did Dion die? It said 10 years before.
So that must have been that body was probably
95?
probably.
I just don't understand why you would want to get it.
I mean, again, like we were having a discussion earlier, like green boots and other.
Right, but what, you don't move green boots?
I think maybe family wanted
it. Yeah, okay.
And not saying family. I'm sure Green Boots has family. I'm sure all that. I think it just goes back
maybe
to
the Green Boots family was like, yeah, leave him there. Or like,
maybe it's just like that's what he would have wanted type of thing,
Yeah.
Or,
and I guess I asked that about Green Boots. Like, why wouldn't you, want the families wanted?
Right.
So I guess that's maybe
Right. I think some of it might also go to the risk again of like as we see with Dave's dive.
I took you home, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
Just to a point, it's so dangerous to go to these depths.
Have you ever seen Black Hawk Down?
It's crazy how this song also has like a place of just emptiness. But I think I have a while ago, and I think maybe bits and pieces of it.
I always found it interesting. I didn't quite understand it because as a kid, when I watched it, because I watched Lord of the Rings, where I just watched bodies just die on the battlefield, and then we just left. But like the importance of them to bring home everybody, because it was like the Green Beret team and who like went into like rescue like a U.S. Army squadron or something who was like in Somalia, I think. But like I was always just fascinated. I'm like, man, they really put their lives at risk to bring home bodies that were dead. When they probably could have saved their lives. But I guess that, it's kind of the same, must have been the same type of feeling that Dave Shaw had. He's like, I gotta get like a fellow diver, bring him home type deal. Yeah, maybe that,
it's like fellow.
I guess that's kind of how I would interpret, the interest in wanting to do that.
Yeah. So I looked up the wiki for the body he was trying to recover of Mr. Dreyer. So it was Dion, I believe his name was. Yeah, Dion Dreyer. Drowned on 17th of December of 1994. He was only 20 years old. During a practice dive, he was helping a team assembled by Nuno Gomez set up conditions for a deep technical dive scheduled to take place later that week. According to first-hand accounts for those diving with him, Dreyer was lost on ascent around 50 meters, 160 feet from the surface. They conjectured he had probably lost consciousness either because of oxygen toxicity or hypercapnia induced by the high work rate of breathing up at depth. 2 weeks after Dreyer's death, Theo hired a small remotely operated sub used by the De Beers Mining Company. It found Dreyer's dive helmet on the C-note floor, but there was no signs of his body. Oh wow! So they found his helmet with the sub, but didn't find his body. Wow. And I guess recovery.
That's even more impressive than that.
Yeah.
They didn't even know where he was, and then just Dave Shaw found him and got him out. Holy shit.
Yeah, so it says 10 years. You were right. 10 years later, in October 2004, renowned cave diver David Shaw discovered Dreyer's body in the cave at a depth of 272 meters, 892 feet. On 8th of January 2005, Shaw tried to recover the body, but died in the attempt. So I think it sounds like it was, I found it, and I'm going to go get him type of thing.
Oh, I see.
Shaw's close friend and support diver Don Shirley also nearly died and was left with permanent damage that has impaired his balance.
Wow.
On the 12th of January 2005, while others were recovering Shaw's technical equipment, they discovered the bodies of both Dreyer and Shaw had floated up close to the surface. Both bodies were then recovered. So
that's crazy.
It's an interesting story of
he did it. Yeah,
he completed it, but he lost his life. Yeah.
You ever been scuba diving?
No. Have you?
I did in like PE class.
Oh my god!
At my high school, we did in the pool.
Yeah, like tanks.
Yeah, I had like
stuff?
a tank on and shit. Yeah,
wow.
It was really. Yeah, it was definitely an acquired skill.
Yeah,
I can't imagine.
I would never want to do like any technical type stuff, anything like that. But
yeah, I was just like on the deep end of a pool. But that was interesting for sure.
Yeah. So commemoration, Dreyer's parents erected a plaque on a rock wall above the Bushman's hole entry pole in memory of their son. In Phillips Finch's books, Diving into Darkness, A True Story of Death and Survival, it was suggested that one of the reasons Dreyer's death created such an impression on the cave diving community because of the plaque. It was because of this plaque. The bodies of most other divers who die, even whilst cave diving, are recovered. However, for many years it was assumed Dreyer's body would never be recovered from the cave because it was simply too deep.
I guess that's where
But the plaque was a continual reminder to cave divers that his body lay within. So it's just a reminder that if you saw this plaque, that Dreyer's body was down there.
Wow.
Until, of course, Mr. Shaw came and recovered it.
Pretty fucking honorable, man.
Yeah. So maybe that was also what allured him to it, was like, I know that this body's down there somewhere, and I'm going to be the one to go get it.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
Wow. Shit. That's cool.
Crazy to me. And it's yeah. Yeah, it's definitely builds up. And then it slows down.
Yeah, then it kind of has a nice piano at the end. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that leads us into the Challenger.
Yeah.
This song, or these two songs, I mean, it's, you have to like kind of get in a headspace for it.
Yeah.
For one, it's long and there's a lot of kind of, I guess, exposition at the beginning.
Yeah. The exposition kind of is a mind fuck too. It's like when you're dreaming, you want to look at your
because
hands.
It's not even about,
Yeah.
Actually depicting the events.
Mm-hmm. And like it said just at the beginning of this here, this track is probably this story is probably the most well known story of the on the album, right? I think if you're, you probably have heard of the Challenger tragedy.
Yeah,
right?
I think everyone, at least everyone in America probably.
Yes. Last story found on this record might be the most known. One of the worst tragedies of the American space program was the Challenger disaster, which happened in 1986, and it took the life of 7 people. And I think what also makes it so tragic is that the people that were specifically the people that were on board. Not saying it wouldn't have been more tragic if it was anybody, but like it was like teachers. Like there was a teacher on there.
One teacher,
there was a teacher. There was
the broadcast of it too.
Yeah,
like
it was
everyone's watching this thing happen.
At the end of this track, I believe, or the second one. I think it's this one. Where like at the end, where it's the audio of people on the ground reacting to it, like they were there and now they're not, and it's just like literally just being able to witness like that death in that moment, because you're watching it, you might hold on to this hope that maybe but you're like, there's no surviving that. Right.
That's fucking crazy.
The footage of, and it's still on YouTube, you can find it anywhere. It's heart-wrenching just watching this explosion and just the reaction right after, because it's like in disbelief, and somehow the ground operator still has to have some composure
to
say, we're gonna let you guys know as soon as we get details of what's going on and all that, just like to not freak out.
But like everyone knows.
Yeah. What happened? It happened in 1986. It took the life of 7 people, 6 astronauts, and Krista Metcalfe. I'm sorry if I said your name wrong. I apologize. But as the space shuttle disintegrated into air, leaving all of its watchers in a shock of grief and despair, starting with a drone ambience and a voice clip of William S. Burroughs on Dreams. The innocent guitar that starts the beginning of the song is drifted away by another one, which gets more and more aggressive. The bass and drums kick in, and the momentum starts to get in motion, slowing down for a few minutes to showcase a beautiful yet melancholic solo. A synth melody followed by a tense and distorting riff leaves place for a clip of the Challenger sequence. The shuttle, you get the countdown and all that, which is kind of interesting. Yeah. All the band is leaving their energy in this part, and you're left with no choice but to be immersed in this wall of sound. They were here and now they're gone. The band disappears and you're left with the tragic outcome in which you can hear and feel the crowd reactions. Yeah, I agree with you. This one is kind of a harder one to get because it's so long and it has all the exposition at the beginning of it. Oh, you got a third boy.
I got a third, yeah.
Oh, wow. You don't usually get a third boy, do you?
I think only once.
Yeah.
I get a lot of Aggie.
Yeah. That's a good third boy. He's a little more coarse than the other ones, isn't he?
Yeah. He's not clawing my fucking legs. But I also put Pip on me and got what I deserved.
Yep.
Yeah, I love when the song kicks in. I mean, it's got a great, it's got some great, it's kind of a 3-parter, would you say, or a 4-parter, I guess, if you include the beginning.
Yeah.
But that slide guitar solo, I love it. And then when we do the takeoff, this is kind of like,
I remember when you were first telling me about this, you were like, man, it's about this. You were like telling me how it was making you cry.
Yeah, I cried fucking.
Yeah.
Only part 2, really. I mean, the end of the song kind of gets you a little bit, but part 2.
Yeah.
And I'm always pissed because I'm like, it had to be Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
don't really like that guy.
Yeah.
But damn, did he deliver a speech when the world needed it?
Yeah.
I mean, same with like George Bush, like
Right.
during 9/11. I mean, you can't really argue that
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't like kind of a voice of
Mm-hmm.
calm, or keeping composure like the announcer guy.
Right.
I love this solo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what part this is kind of representing because it seems
Yeah.
like it's, obviously the ship hasn't taken off yet because
Right.
that part's to come.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what they're trying to evoke because it's like definitely somber.
Yeah. But there was a lot of excitement.
Yeah, you would
going
think
up.
it'd be more of an excitement, but I don't know. Because I guess it is kind of a hindsight song too, so we all know what's happening, so maybe that's kind of where they're coming from there instead of like trying to like replicate the shock maybe, but
Right.
because I think that might be a little on the nose
Mm-hmm.
if they did it like that. But I love when the little synth comes in too, because you don't kind of the first time you hear that.
Yeah,
from
it's
the
it's
band.
a really very synthy synth.
Yeah, I mean they really
Mm-hmm.
now
Now it's like yeah.
here we
Now
go.
we're going.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe the somber part before this is maybe the nervousness of the crowd, or maybe of also the astronauts before they go.
I've never really looked up the coverage on this prior, just because I don't really want to be that sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know. Maybe there was like conversations or like the prepping and
Right,
like
right.
saying goodbye to everyone. We'll be back and all
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is very much like the build up.
But I love this whole
Yeah, sequence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the guitar is like yeah.
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 And then when it all just kind of like fizzes out.
Mm-hmm.
Play the guitar. Yeah, they definitely utilized the 3 guitars. Like sometimes you're like, that's a little too many, but they all seem to like kind of do their own thing. And I mean, even on the Gallant Gentleman, like the
Right.
way they all take the melody differently,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
You're getting a little bit more of that narration.
Yeah.
I love that part.
Yeah, they're really good at that. Like one guitar will kind of like start doing the thing that's coming next, and then they'll all follow suit.
Yeah. It also has kind of that kind of future spacey kind of sound, like kind of like the diving one had that nautical sound. This has like an 80s kind of like that synth, and then
That's good. Yeah, it's a good.
a spacey sound to it.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
I love how like through all of this we spent the probably least time talking about a Gallant Gentleman, even though that's like probably arguably,
Yeah,
yeah.
That's like the
We just listened to that probably so many times.
right.
so.
And I wanted to talk more about the others that I hadn't like given as much time to.
Yeah,
It's also the shortest too, so I mean it's like the
that's
easiest to
true.
put on. And
that's true. It gives you a nice idea of what you're getting yourself into for the rest of the album, though. It's a nice opener.
and some people might be like, "Oh, I don't think this is for me. This is the first song." Fucking
Mm-hmm.
being a fool.
But like, what a good idea! It's just like, what has more build up than a rocket launch, too, right?
Right.
Yeah, like it was a good idea musically to kind of incorporate that too, like that suspense that you get watching something that is as big as this.
Yeah, the closest thing I can relate to is getting on the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You're loading, you're going up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
And then from what I remember, it gets more intense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just a wall of sound is what the article was saying. Yeah. Yeah, and he uses crazy stuff happening in the right headphone.
Yeah. What actually is that?
I think it's just a guitar going weird, but
I don't know if it was I thought it was maybe a sound bite.
that sounds like an instrument. And I don't think that would be like a sound bite.
Yeah. You can still hear the synth from the beginning.
Yeah.
If you really focus on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit starts to. Yep. Yeah, then you get the chilling
Yeah.
sound bites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It messes with you. I can't imagine what it would have been like to have been at home and watching that live as it happened.
Yeah. I've talked to my mom about it before.
Yeah.
She remembers.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who was there, like,
Mm-hmm.
they remember Elvis, 9/11, and
Mhm.
this. They usually bring those up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this song, a Swan song, Challenger Part 2, it opens with that like somber kind of like,
Fuck.
yeah,
Yeah.
the aftermath.
But like, it's also the most hopeful of any
It sounds
of the
hopeful too.
tracks,
I agree. I was
too.
going to add that too. It is hopeful sounding as well. Yeah.
Which is just like, as far as the whole, 12 steps of
Mm-hmm.
death. Is that 12 steps?
5 steps.
5 steps. I'm
of
thinking
grief.
of recovery.
Of
Oh,
grief.
of
Yeah,
grief,
you're talking
yeah.
about like the 12-step program.
Literally
though.
5 songs, and
Yeah.
I mean, it's the true acceptance of like all
Yeah.
of this, and like
Yeah.
the memory that like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
there's still some like
Light.
light.
Yeah. Yeah. The 5 stages of grief are they're pretty well represented in this, I would say. You have all the emotions you kind of feel in this album with their music, and it's I think the 5 stages, I believe, is anger. I'm probably out of order, but there's denial, anger, bargaining, acceptance is, I think, is the last one, but there's
another-
depression in there too.
Yeah.
I don't know if denial is one. I think
I can't say any song represents like
right.
I mean, yeah, like I don't really find a whole lot of anger in the album.
Right.
Yeah,
But this one, I agree with you, is probably the more like, it's sad. It's a sad, hopeful. It's somber. Like,
I wish the word sappy didn't mean what it does.
Yeah.
It's like sad, happy. But yeah, then it kind of like,
Yeah.
it's like pulling you out of the,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
it's okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Uplifting in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Imagine just like, because like I know me and you were alive. We were very young when like the 9/11 situation, all that happened, right? And there's this feeling of like, we're gonna rebuild and all that. And it does build back up.
Yeah, it's a nice build up.
Let me actually read what it says about it on this article here. To close off, the last track of the album is a swan song, and after 4 devastating tracks, you start to see glimpses of light in this beautiful track. This is the final eulogy to these men and to everyone who gave their life for different reasons. You hear the guitars, the bass keys, cymbals, and drums, but there is no tragedy to be found here, only beautiful melodies and a powerful crescendo. We followed this journey for almost 58 minutes to fall back into reality and realize that this is humanity at its purest and honest time. As Ronald Reagan addresses the nation of the Challenger disaster, you're left with this message: we will never forget them, nor the last time we saw them. This is mourning. This morning, as they prepared for their journey and waved goodbye, and slipped the surely bonds of earth to touch the face of God. I will surely never forget this album. We lost the sea, nor the people that you've honored with this release. You've managed to create an experience that only one other record managed to move me in such ways, and that is Godspeed You Black Emperor's debuts F sharp, A sharp for Infinity? Is that what that is? Okay.
Good fucking album.
This is a powerful work of art that shows us how frail life is, but in the darkest moments of our existence, there's still hope and light to be found in the way. Rest in peace, Chris Torpey. Very beautifully written.
Yeah, that's a good
article.
Yeah.
Very well done, I have to say. I'm glad that you sent that over and that we were able to read it. But yeah, I agree with this.
I love that article.
Yeah.
I was like looking on their site to like find something, but they didn't really give a whole lot of.
Oh shit.
All they said was this is about honorable quests that ended in tragedy. And
right.
I was like, well, what? Some of them are. There's got to be some more detail to some of them. So.
Right. Yeah. So yeah,
this was a good one.
Hats off to you, Ignacio de Vincenzi. Beautifully written, and yes, I think you really did capture the soul of this album and what it was about, and the feelings that it evoked. It's coming into this and learning even more about this, like Bogatry. I did not know that's what that song was about, and that's probably the most haunting of the album. That song is haunting in a way,
on the
and it's
art
just like.
Do you? I was trying to, because everything's represented, but I'm not sure if this
is
in the art, but
represented well enough. You see the three men there, but like you don't see.
Yeah, well, I mean in the album cover, like
is it in the
I mean, it has that
cover.
Color scheme, and I think that might be it. But there's the mountains, there's the water, there's the rocket ship,
the gentleman.
There's the gentleman.
Where is the power plant situation going on?
Yeah,
Chernobyl.
I mean it's the same. It's the same color scheme as like that what that song has, and I think that might be from the liner notes in the album. I've almost bought this on vinyl so many times, and I don't know why I haven't.
I'm sure the art that continues is probably art from the album as you buy it.
Yeah, I would see.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
you can sign. I think it's these trees.
And like that kind of brownish color.
Yeah,
maybe.
I think it's this here represented here.
Yeah, or I guess maybe that's a building. Because I thought that was so fascinating that each song is represented
in the album cover. It's so well done, well thought out, and just beautiful.
Yeah.
You just dive into this and you learn so much more about these people and their story, and it's very well done tributes to these people that lost their lives
without saying a word, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Because like they didn't need to have the sound bites either. I don't think that was essential.
No, you would have gotten the idea.
Because they would have had more of it if they were gonna lean on that.
Right.
And I'm glad they didn't.
The less is more type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace to I believe it was Chris Torpey.
Yeah.
And beautiful work by this band.
Yeah, it is funny that he mentions Gods, because I think that's the last time that you really get something that pieces everything together in such a way for an instrumental album. I think that's the last band to really be successful at that.
Right.
Kind of having more to it than just the music.
Mm-hmm.
So, you can listen to sad, melancholic, but also hopeful songs, but you don't know why they're doing it a lot of the time. And yeah, this is a good one. I haven't heard they have a new album, but I haven't listened to it.
I did see, they did have a new one.
And I don't know if it, maybe it just doesn't have the same magic, because I mean, how do you follow up that?
The album cover is beautiful too.
It
almost looks it looks enticing because it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe if I get the itch, I might check that one out.
Yeah.
Yeah, the previous one's pretty interesting too. I didn't listen to the whole thing. I listened to a couple tracks just to get a feel for Chris and his vocals. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, We Lost the Seas album, Departure Songs, and it was nice getting to spend some more time with this, and I hope everyone feels uplifted, and but it is uplifting because like it's saying, like in all of these tragedy, there is light and there is life, and life is worth living, and beautiful.
Yeah.
So Brock, you've already kind of somewhat spoiled what your album
Oopsies.
Because it's an album that you had to actually put MP3 onto Spotify for me. So it is Conversing ages.
Converging. Oh, you spelled it wrong?
Oh no.
Oh my god. Yeah, Converging Ages by Inanna.
How do you spell it?
Converging. Just take that S out, put a G in there.
Oh, I did it. I fixed it.
Yeah, so this is a band I first listened to like this week, and I've ordered their new album. I got their other 2 albums.
Sweet.
They're badass fucking death metal band.
Nice.
I'm in a Facebook group, and I have a fun friend / contact I met through different groups who I talk to about music with. He loves death metal, so I peep his page a lot to like get some like recommendations, and like I don't know, it's been kind of pivotal and kind of finding interesting bands who really emphasize good songwriting and variety. And I mean, in death metal there's so many good albums, but I guess to like review some of them on the podcast, I was telling Trevor earlier that it's not always like if like it can be a good album, but it's not always a good podcast album.
Right.
And so sometimes death metal falls short in that category for me. I mean, we've done a few like that. I mean, I think, Haunter, who actually have their new album coming out next week, I'm excited about too. I think they were a good one just for variety's sake. Ulcerate was awesome just because of how unique their style is. But I think a lot of like bands can be very punishing and like heavy and then to talk about it, without having to like go into details on like all the different riffs and stuff, I think sometimes it can be hard to like talk about. But I think this album is pretty sick. Especially the last track. I was like wow, I haven't really been
blown away
in a while. I mean,
sweet.
We love a good long song closer.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, yeah, so they're from Chile. Definitely an underrepresented part of the world in the metal conversation.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I think and plus not being available and streaming, I think that while they probably wouldn't see much money if they went on there, I mean, it definitely does limit probably a lot of listeners.
I could see that. Yeah.
At least around Bandcamp though, unlike Gree, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this will be a fun one to do. I hope you like it.
Yeah, I hope I do too. And I think I will. It looks cool.
Yeah.
And I'm excited.
Yeah, cool album art and all that. Yeah.
So thank you everybody for listening. This has been the Ear Burners podcast. And let us know if you like the new setup. I kind of like it better. I think it's fun. Yeah. And anyways, we'll be back with you next weekend with Converging Ages by Inanna. Thank you.
I need a cat stick of shit.
Yeah, I can smell it.
I don't think it was Aggie though, because
yeah. Jordan accidentally got them the I think it's grain free or it's a different cat food, so I think it's making their shit a little stinkier.
Oh good.
Yeah,
you needed that.
Yeah. Helping out. Yeah, I just don't think they're used to it.
God, I hate when Grayson doesn't bury his shit. So I will go in and instead of like shoveling it, I will just